Alright, I guess I'm going to do a video unboxing, quick review, if you want to call it that, of this. I was debating whether I was going to keep this. I got this actually several weeks ago. Um, but, I mean, I love stuff from the Clone Wars, and this is a pretty cool vehicle from that. It's from the Hyena bomber, part of the Trade Federation, or do they call it just the Separatist group? Anyways, comes with a battle droid. To me, the way he's colored, he reminds me of what in the show there was some that had rocket packs, which were called, I think, rocket droids. But other than that, the coloring, I think he basically looks like a very standard um, battle droid figure. And a couple of features, and surprisingly there's something in here that they don't discuss, but I saw on Kevin's Microfleet channel, like when he did a review on this, like there was a little feature that, funny they didn't advertise it, but I think it's important to note, and I'll show it to you in a moment. But you can see basically there's this thing that rotates, I think it swivels basically left and right on the bottom, like that down on the bottom of the, I guess it would be its left side, opposite the head right there, or cockpit if you want to even call it a cockpit. It's right on the bottom there. It's like a little, I don't know, gun camera or sensor. The wings can pop open a little bit more, I guess. We'll take a look at that in a moment. And then this opens to review. Basically, I think there's a bunch of bombs or missiles inside there, just to show it to you inside, but it doesn't actually deploy anything. And I guess the feature here is that when you lift up the canopy, there's a space for you to insert the droid, so it can be a pilot, even though these things never really had a pilot. They're kind of a droid themselves. They don't need a pilot, but there's this, comes with it and somewhere to store it. That's fine. Probably do that. So we'll take a closer look at it. Okay, so here we go. Just real quickly, I always cut out the blueprints in the back just to keep them, collect these. Nothing special, but it's just something I just do since it's there. And as well as the ones for the figure, though it's not that all that important, but it's another blueprint, so what the heck, I've been keeping those if they are available. You don't get those with like scout class stuff. Back up a little. Well, here is the droid. Arms move, pretty typical, both forward, and they bend at the hips, of course. Although, probably, it's so skinny, don't want to mess around with them too much. And see, this part of his, I feel like this should be, well, you know, it's like two antennas in the back, and they just fit it in there. I thought it was kind of bent, but it's just the way it is. I'm not too, nothing all that fancy or great about this particular character, and it just comes with it. This is the main feature here, the Hyena droid bomber, and pretty cool. Wish it didn't have this tab here, but I guess you need it to help open the bottom, but I suspect you could probably clip it off if you wanted to, but then you just, might be just a little harder to open, but I'm sure you can get some sort of tool if you really need it to, because otherwise this is what's, so I can get the light in here better and zoom up. Otherwise, this is what's in here. Like I said, it looks like it's a set of bombs that go in here, and there is actually some detail too. And I'm just supposing here, but you look at this detail here, it looks like it's kind of like these. Maybe just slightly less detailed, but given that how these are positioned, and then you got some here, and you got this cylindrical thing, I imagine these are like missiles or bombs that rotate around perhaps this centerpiece here. And where would they fire out from, though? That's the thing, because yeah, I'm not sure. And this is the part that I think it swivels. Just, don't remember seeing it do this on the show. So, and this is the first time I've ever seen it. Like even some, like I had a Lego version of this a long time ago when they had one, And I don't remember this even being a thing back then. So, but whatever, it is an extra feature. Looks like they got, this is just not scratches, just some of the cardboard stuff. And yeah, I mean, I think this is where it would fire either lasers. Generally, like something in here would be where you'd probably put the weapons would probably fire out from. You know, kind of like on a TIE bomber. You know, most of the weapons are on that pod that's on this side of the ship, and on this side is where there's the crew and you pilot and all the targeting stuff. So I'm thinking it's basically taking the same design philosophy there. This should split open. Yeah, see, this pulls right open like that, pretty cleanly. And I guess it's more of an attack mode, I guess. Let's see, does it both pull up? I wonder. Yeah, see, this opens up 3, so this, okay, there we go. Both halves actually spread out from the middle, and so you can go this wide. And I'll show you something in a moment. I wonder how it should be better displayed like this. I think it looks, in flight, it looks better closed. This would be better in the other position that it doesn't actually advertise. And here's where you lift the head up. Too bad it's hollow in the bottom, but I guess it's to fit your figure underneath here, which I guess I'll do right now. It just goes right in. Basically like that. And actually, I think I gotta remember on the photo. What the heck happened to? Yeah, it shows it showing belly down. It has to be like that because the backpack, and it should be able to. That's the thing, though. See, it's kind of sticking out a bit. You can see his head's there, so how is he going to lay flush, even though there is like a small space there? Will that actually fit his head down in there? See, this head doesn't actually. Let me take this out. Well, anyways, this would go like, at least it's posable. The head does actually move. And I'll just show you another mode that they didn't advertise. And I wonder if this is all the way in, but you can pull I believe Kevin showed that you can pull these wings out. Back up a little bit. Let me close it. It might be easier to do it like this. Let me get this head down. It kind of snaps into place, but not totally like super tight. It's not advertised, but he did show that these. Oh, there you go. And you can see there's 2 positions for this as a whole, and then you got this here, and I believe he showed that you can actually stick it on like this. Although, to be honest, okay, I was thinking, well, how does it do that? It's like this part's blocked off, but maybe you see this one's deeper on the bottom, so I believe. Oh, yeah. I can see also there's a certain shape to this. You see how it's got a little divot or angle cut out here, which matches right in there. So this should point down, which makes sense. These would be the feet, and then you push it in like that. And then let's pull this out. And this is an important feature too for the droids, because like such as like the regular fighters, the vulture droids, they do this too. So this is also designed to go like this, and so you push this in like there, and then I guess you would then spread them out so that he can actually have a better chance of standing, so that, you know, sometimes they can stand on these legs, and they can walk like there's 4 legs. I remember I never had one of these as a toy back then, but the regular vulture droids, that was something you could do, bend the wings down, pull them out, and then actually there has some hinges and some parts so you can actually kind of articulate the legs separately and stuff. But it's kind of cool that it could do this. And then I guess if it's in this mode, you'd probably have its head up so that it can kind of look around or something. And it's just, something like that. So yeah, it's funny that they don't. This is pretty important feature. People will probably miss it because there's not even, they wouldn't even know to do this unless you are familiar with this character or this ship from the series, and how they can transform into like a walking form, just like the vulture droids can. And so it's just funny that they didn't do that. Now I wish they could do this with like with the toy that I had before. You didn't have to pull the legs off, you just rotated it and had all these hinge parts. But I guess the way they did this, I don't know, in some ways it's more secure this way, but there's, you know, not much articulation at all. It just stands there. But I'm not going to keep it in this position or mode anyways. But I just wanted to show you guys that, you know, that is something you could do. And I'm glad Kevin at Kevin's Microfleet showed this off, because yeah, it's just it's funny. Again, it's not advertised on the packaging whatsoever. Everything else is. So I'm going to transform this back, and I wonder if the wings go in deeper, because they felt like, see, well, no, I think that's as deep as they can go, because you see how the top part of this, the connector part, like right down here and up here, it hits the side of the inside of the wing, so you can't, you're going to leave a gap here. And I guess you need to, because once this closes down, the inside part needs some space for it to collapse into. So it'll go down like that, right? And then just pull it out, stick it back in, as straight as, there we go. It should click a bit. And then just shuts down like that. And there you go. I mean, it's a pretty cool looking droid. I like the color, this blue grayish kind of color. And I wonder if he actually might fit better this way, because it feels like his backpack is hitting, I don't know why all this orange is in here. Oh, it's funny, it's kind of like bleeding. It's on a ball joint, it's easy for it to come out. But I guess some of that paint came through. You see there, it's kind of, it's not like it's that thin. It's kind of unusual that they have it on the inside. But whatever. If this comes off, it pops back on. It's not super tight, but again, I was saying that the cavity inside here is taller, so I would actually probably put it in like this if you want to make sure you can sit. Look at that, much more flush inside there. His head isn't popping out there as it was up here, because there's just not as much for his backpack to go into. His feet does stick out just a tiny bit, but I suspect it should be a lot easier. Yeah, see, now this at least can kind of snap down a little bit tighter than before. Yeah, that should be fine. It's not going to be a perfect seal, but you know, I think that's perfectly acceptable. So, I mean, this is basically how it's going to be in display, just as a droid. And I think it looks better like this, tighter, than it does all spread out. This is a little bit wide, and the gap's a little bit jarring to me. And I think, again, when it's spread out, that's best when it's in standing modes, because then, you know, it's more stable. It's the legs or the feet are all more spread out, obviously. And that's pretty much it. There isn't much to it. There's no engines to note. It is, I wonder how, like, these would fly, because, you know, like TIE fighters, you see like the red engine glow somewhere to indicate the ion engines. But this one, I guess maybe they might actually be inside here. That's the only place I can think of where they would have some sort of propulsion system for this, because everything else is pretty smooth. And I'm sure it doesn't come off of the wings anywhere. And I've never noticed how much stuff is in here. It looks kind of beefy with some added, you know, greebling, and there's all this detail, you know, which is kind of cool. It makes it a little bit heavier duty or sturdier. I don't think the standard vulture droids have that much, I guess, meat within their wings like that. So that's it. I got nothing else for you. Yeah, again, I like this, but then I was thinking, you know, I got limited space. Do I really need or want this? I wish they would make the regular vulture droid in this color configuration too, to match currently. I think the only other version out there is like the old Trade Federation color that they had, which was kind of a, I don't know, like a greenish or brownish kind of color, which they were seen as originally, which it's a nice color, but I would like it when, you know, as in the Clone Wars, everything was more painted in this blue gray-ish and gray kind of color scheme, which you know, their tanks are like that, which admittedly it's not exact match because the tanks, like there's a droid tank, right? I think that's a bit more blue, but still the concept of the color is closer to match than the original ones that you see in episode 1, before they became, you know, the whole separatist army part of it. There we go. Yeah, I think I forget how much I got this for. It wasn't that much, and I can't remember if this even came with like a with the scout class. Some of the ones that from Amazon, they package it with another scout class for a little couple more bucks. But it's kind of cool if if it comes like that. Sure, I'll take the extra, you know, vehicle and character, maybe get something good out of that sometimes. But the main thing is, of course, the ship itself. I'm not that crazy about the scout class. They're so small, but they're cool bonuses if you can get something cool. So yeah, that's it. Thanks for watching, and I think in terms of Micro Galaxy Squadron, I don't think there will be anything unless they ship early. I don't think anything else is coming in until like later this year, like towards fall, from what I've seen in the pre-orders. Like I have Darth Maul from Maul Shadow Lord. The Hex is basically like a, you know, Mandalorian gauntlet fighter, but the front end's cut off, but they scaled it up properly. Now it looks like the size that it should be, versus the original ones from that you see with Bo-Katan, as well as there's like some other Mandalorian that they did. Those are much more like, and the scale is not right. It's just too small for what it is compared to what it should be. But so yeah, they're making that Hex, which is cool. And so with that in mind, hopefully they'll add the front bits and make it the full-size gauntlet at some point, and I'd happily buy that again, to get it to the proper scale and detail that it should have been. What else? I have the only other thing is there's another Y-Wing, Republic Y-Wing bomber, the BTL Y-Wing, which is Ahsoka's, but it looks almost identical to Rex's that just came out already. This with the blue paint scheme. So I don't know if I'm gonna get that. I mean, it's in order, and it'd be kind of cool. It's slightly different, but I really wish they would put out the other, like something more significantly different, like a good yellow version, right? Yellow and white, like you classically see with Y-Wings. And again, I would always refer to the episode that really highlights some really nicely was in the Attack the Malevolence, like the 3-part kind of consecutive episodes about, you know, the Malevolence and the attack on it. And so they should have like the regular ones that like the other clone pilot, which has a particular white and yellow scheme, and then Anakin has his own particular yellow and white color scheme. That would be awesome as a pack. Just those two, and I think Plo Koon's another Plo Koon's Jedi Starfighter with this time with a hyperdrive ring, because they didn't have that before. I think that as a battle pack, as a set, would be perfect. But that's not in the cards just yet. What else did I order? The new AT-AT, the slightly different one that's in the Mandalorian and Grogu movie. That one's pretty cool. I think it comes with a pretty decent amount of stuff with, you know, I think Din Djarin, Mandalorian, and Grogu, and I think they got the little bipedal is it AT-RT, you know, thing that you rise. It comes with the large, of course, the 8 AT-AT, the new one, which has all these features inside, and it also has that special like INT4. What is that thing? The thing that used to be a Kenner toy, which wasn't a real vehicle in Star Wars until they didn't just make it into the movie. It's pretty cool, short scene, but it's a skate pod kind of thing. But yeah, that includes that. Although I think you can buy that separately too. You don't have to get it with that set. And it comes. What else was it come with? Some snowtroopers, I'm sure. Commander. I forget. They even have speeder bikes too. But it's a cool set. I got that on order. I think I should keep it, but it's huge. We'll see. Any other spaceships? Oh, I think there's the B wing. Oh, and wait, I have the new A wing already. So yeah, they're redoing. They have another B wing, which is in I think the New Republic colors because it's white and blue or gray and blue. I'll probably keep that, but that's later. And they just announced Boba Fett's Slave One, or Starship, but we all call it Slave One. There's a new version that's at, I think it's coming out at some comic convention or something. It's going to be like in the Ralph McQuarrie concept colors, so it's like got these gray tones and stuff, and it comes with like a concept, like the original like the all white version of Boba Fett, and maybe a stormtrooper, and I think it still comes with Carbonite Solo. That looks pretty cool, but I don't really need another Slave One. If I had the space, I'd get it, but since I don't think I could. I mean, maybe just to have, but we'll see. That's I don't know how hard that was going to be to get, since I think it's only at that it's just like a convention or show special or something. But we'll see. Anyways, babbled long enough. So that's about this, and I'm done. Thanks for watching.